Alright, like always, look at the screen, and if it upsets you that this is being pointed to, I promise you'll be okay. Now, I'd like to think I wouldn't have to recap here, but I will on the off chance that someone stumbles into this. At the end of April of this year, YouTuber ILoveKimPossibleALot released a video with the stated intent to expose DA Games and Saberspark. Now, if this was just a bad video focusing on DA Games, taking another shot after criticism wouldn't have been the worst of ideas. Everyone makes a bad video eventually, and it's clear KP needed to check her tone and approach on matters like this. Humor is a valid coping mechanism, but there is a time and place for these things. The bigger issue is that KP included a claim towards Saberspark of a very specific nature. One that's non-consensual, to be clear. The irritation here is that when she was told about the accusation, unbeknownst to me, made by YouTuber EmuEmi, she came to me directly and asked what I thought, and I made my value and direction on that very clear. You don't forward any of this without, bare minimum, informing law enforcement and filing a report, regardless of the age of the accusation.
Then that needs to be handled by the cops, like period. Like 100% period. That needs a police report filed today. Here's the problem, though, with that inherently. If that did happen, and Saber did do that, he will by nature know who it is. So if it gets out in any way, shape, or form, and a police report hasn't been filed, she's going to be at risk. Like, that's just the truth of the matter in this. And it's unpleasant, it's ugly, but that's the truth.
Now, I've seen some drooling idiots, the same that think I was involved in KP's video, to be clear, state that EmuEmi should have gone to Rain. If it was due to wanting victim support, absolutely. They're a victim advocate organization, but they're not law enforcement, and claims of this nature must be reported to law enforcement before anything else. That's the standard. I encourage victims to seek proper help when needed, but the only real chance any of us would have for justice in this world would go to the judicial system. Anyways, this caused an absolute maelstrom of hate to be thrown at KP. To be clear, criticism is justified. She made a serious accusation of a nature like this without actual evidence. That's condemnable. Full stop. After her initial video drop, she came to me asking what she should do. At the time, I hadn't seen the video, but I had heard she included the accusation I told her not to, and I obviously wasn't happy. Regardless though, I told her if the responses were stressing her out, to private the video. So she did. That's when video responses and the like had come out. And so, a person in my circles came around asking questions. That being Beckett of Cope and Seethe. I got KP in contact with him because despite being a drama channel, Beckett will give people a fair shake and leeway where others wouldn't. There's other details that happened after this, but the culmination was the video Beckett made on the situation. Obviously, KP wasn't happy. She's clearly used to being in control of things and was under the impression that this video would validate her. I'm honestly not sure how, as Beckett was very clear he was going to be critical of her. She asked me if she should respond to anything, and I told her not to, because anything she said would be under severe scrutiny and people would be bad faith about it. After some time had passed, I was ruminating on all that KP had done. I made it clear to her that she had screwed up, but I wasn't willing to throw away our friendship because of a screw-up. One could have argued that KP genuinely believed Emmy and pushed the accusations due to that. But as more time and data came out, that didn't seem to be the case. I hadn't spoken to KP for a while when she popped back up in my DMs and shared a link to the audio for her response. You know, the thing I told her not to do. It was listening to the audio of this response that sealed it for me that KP wasn't approaching this like a proper adult. While I didn't share the audio, someone else, Hidden Heroine, did, and now it's out there in the public. It was genuinely awful and focused more on her feelings than the wrong she's done, putting the onus on the audience and blaming misogyny. Since KP had turned away my suggestions twice, I decided not to give her a complete feedback on any of this. Mostly because if she was going to screw up again, I was just going to let her since she was clearly not willing to listen to counsel. The other, much smaller reason, was because I didn't want to be put in the position of Lio said this was fine like others have tried to put me in to use me as a shield. She wound up sending another draft of audio, but it wasn't much better. The day arrived where she put out the response. While not as bad as her drafts, it was still putting the focus on her feelings and providing no apologies towards Saberspark. I will note though that a bit before this, my staff member, Hidden Heroine, contacted KP offering to help with some things. To clarify, Hidden didn't regularly track the KP stuff like the rest of us did, so she didn't have full detail. So KP's response hits, and then she has a call with KP where KP just outright lied on some things. This pushed Hidden to release the call after being sent other things from KP. KP wasn't happy about this, obviously, and came to me to complain about it. I set a day and time for the call to happen, and added her and Hidden to a group chat. Because if KP wanted answers, I wasn't about to answer for another person. KP instead left the group chat angrily because she had been actively monitoring Hidden's comment section, or had someone watch it for her, and discovered Hidden was talking about releasing something else, assuming it would be the call. Here's the back and forth we had after that, with KP's part being read out by the Lord of the Corn, Bifame. I guess it's just you and me then. Let me know when ready.
Dude, we were supposed to lack of trust with you when you bring in the person that is the one of the reasons I need to speak to you about.
You may need to redo that sentence. It doesn't really make sense.
Hidden leaked the call and is laughing about how stupid I am, and you bring her in to talk to me? You recommended me to talk to her in the first place, and that reflects on both of you.
I didn't tell you to talk to Hidden. I'm ready when you are.
Let me look into that. Hold on. I have closed the DMs with her so I can look into that later, but I'm open to being incorrect about it. Still, memory serves that you recommended her, and how much you trusted her. She's your head mod, right? Like, you can't tell me she didn't plan to leak the call with the three of us. It seems like it was likely. Correct me if I'm wrong.
She is not my head mod. Let me know when you can call. I literally told you I can't answer for her.
At this point, I feel more comfortable as a text convo. Does she have any authority in your server? Because I do not remember meeting her under circumstances unrelated to you.
I'm not doing text, KP. I don't have the time for that. You wanted to talk? I'm granting you that. Trying to get granular about Hidden's position in my server isn't relative to that, especially since I didn't send her to you.
But you still brought someone who was actively leaking calls into a conversation. You still decided to include her. If you didn't want me to mention Hidden, then IDK why you thought we were going to have a three-way call when she was literally bragging about how stupid I am live for trusting her. You didn't even ask me.
I literally told you why I added her.
I understand that, but I wanted to talk to you, not Hidden.
I'm not going to answer for another person. I refuse to.
That's fine. You don't have to.
And I'm the only one here, so let's do that. I won't be adding anyone else.
Are you planning on recording?
Do I need to?
I'm just asking and clarifying.
I can't text all night, KP.
At this point, I feel more comfortable with texting. I'm sure you can understand that. If you are unavailable tonight, that's fine. We can talk some other time.
KP, this was set up and scheduled. This is actually just ridiculous. I'm not doing text. I have other responsibilities and cannot spend more time than I already have texting you. You go on about wanting to be treated as an equal, this is it.
You never specified ever that it only had to be a call. If you have other responsibilities, I understand. Have a good night.
I did, actually. I'll be able to call tomorrow at 6 p.m. CST. Stop trying to word lawyer this, KP. It's unbecoming.
Right. That was something you said. That's not something that was mutually agreed upon. You also didn't specify you couldn't text? Anyway, you've made your time concerns known, and I don't think we can see eye to eye about this. So I'll just save us the trouble and disengage.
I'm going to be very blunt here, KP. Your constant choice of running from literally every difficult situation is going to do nothing but bite you in the butt. Things will not always be on your terms, especially not in the working world. This entire debacle happened because you refused to listen to me. And now, you're trying to blame me for the actions of others. I've heard the call. You either need to eat some gravel and harden up, or figure out how you're going to survive if you're not catered to every step of the way. You will, unironically, be extremely lucky if Saber doesn't push litigation on you, because you've absolutely given him the opening to do so. A few days passed, and KP asked for another call. One with me.
Lio, I understand that emotions were high the other day, and that a lot of people are acting out of stress right now, but a call with Hidden wasn't something we explicitly discussed or agreed upon. I didn't understand at the time that that was your plan. I assumed you would talk to her privately, without me involved. That's a big part of why this situation has been so upsetting for me. I can't explain or control someone else's actions, and I don't blame you for her choices or anyone else's behavior. I would imagine you feel regret connecting me to Beckett based on how ugly this is getting. I understand this was an attempt to help that is gone a different way than intended, and I appreciate that. But I also need to recognize how they've affected me. As far as talking to her, I do remember you mentioning on a call that she was someone you trusted deeply as a friend. I could be wrong, but if I'm right, then it's worth asking. How would I remember that information unless it came from you? That's why this whole situation has shaken me so much. You have been a good friend to me, and I want to acknowledge that. But the truth is, I've been heavily spooked by people I once trusted leaking personal, private, sensitive information. Riddle leaking information indirectly has been deeply traumatic. I'm exhausted. I need to draw a boundary here. Not to punish anyone, but to protect myself. I am willing to re-engage and clarify details with you, but it needs to be in a way I feel comfortable and at a later time when things are less volatile. I still value our friendship and hope that hasn't been lost in all of this, but right now, I need to be careful with my own limits, especially since I have a strong reason to believe that a call might have been recorded. That possibility is deeply upsetting, and I need to prioritize my safety and peace of mind above all else.
I see. The person you're remembering me referring to wasn't Hidden. It was Peaches. And that was 2 years ago.
Apologies, time is a bit wonky these days. Also, you did tell me so. And these are pre-censored, but if you need this. I'm kind of feeling okay, so do you have time to talk tonight?
I'll have time at 8 p.m. CST.
Okay, if I get sleepy, I'll let you know. Sorry for my reaction. Hidden just triggered the shit out of me too. I'm here, just note that my energy levels are a bit low, and this week I feel like I've been run over by the magic school bus, especially chest.
Alright, one moment. Ready.
Alright, go ahead.
I want to state very clearly, I don't tend to record calls with friends, but it was pretty clear to me that KP was scrambling to find anybody to be a scapegoat here, and I wasn't completely unaware about how she was speaking about me in these other private calls that got released. So I felt it right to record this for my own safety so I don't get thrown under the bus like she's done to other people. So here's that call. Hello, Rachel. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So, what is it you specifically wanted to discuss?
I don't know, honestly. I guess, I guess there's nothing really we can do, or nothing I can really do as far as how crazy it's been getting. But, like, can you give me some more background about your relationship with Beckett? Because, like, he's been interviewing, like, everyone that I've ever briefed near, and he interviewed my friend and told her said some upsetting things, not upsetting, but, like, unsettling things to her.
Why did he talk to her? Do you know why he accepted that?
Because she wanted to try to help me from a PR standpoint. She asked me, and she told me about it. I said, if you want to. Okay. And basically, from what she described, she's trustworthy. I don't have any reason to doubt her. He basically tried to be really nice and get information out of her, and she wouldn't budge. And then she said after 15 minutes, he kind of dropped the act and talked about how much money he was making off this, that he doesn't care about anyone, that he thinks I'm acting vindictively because if he were me, that's how he would be acting, so therefore I am acting vindictively. Thinks people he's talking to are crazy, but is platforming them anyway, to make money. Talked about how he didn't understand the perfect victim myth, even though she tried to explain it. She said it kind of made her uncomfortable how hinged he was. And then not unhinged, but, like, he asked her if my PTSD was real. He's been asking people a lot of personal questions. So I don't feel like I don't have any privacy at all. Which, I know I can only control to a certain extent, but there seems to be, like, I don't know. I don't know the kid, but it just seems like it's very hyper focused and kind of like, he's trying to bait me on Twitter. I'm not really paying attention. He had Barbie, try to manipulate me. I guess I'm just tired of, like, I'm just venting at this point, but I'm just tired of being manipulated and
So,
yeah, go ahead.
let me take that in order. Number one, did produce to you a copy of their conversation?
No, she didn't record it.
Okay. Your friends need to get into a habit of learning how to do that, because what she said about Beckett does not track for him as a person from literally anything I know about him. I do not know. How long have you known?
A year.
Okay. I will tell you this. Beckett did not send Barbie to you. Barbie did that of her own volition. Because that's
I got
Barbie
the feeling
is.
she wanted to play main character.
Well,
Yeah.
the point is, that's not Beckett's fault. That's not his doing. That's who Barbie is. And again, I'm not going to do too many of this concerning Barbie, but I did warn you about her. I warned you about her last year, and I warned you about her earlier this year.
No, you did warn me. I'm not debating that.
Okay. Now, I will say, calling him kid's probably not the best thing, because he is genuinely older than you. He's in his mid-30s, whereas I'm, like, in my 40s. I'm not going to sit
He's in
here...
his mid-30s. Okay,
Yeah, he's in his mid-30s. He's closer to my
Yeah,
age.
I didn't know that.
But it's not that Beckett does not care. Beckett tries his best in a lot of ways to keep some sort of professional distance from what he talks about. But the problem with all this is, you're saying that you're tired of being manipulated. But part of the problem when it comes to you and all of this is that you have a tendency of getting all of your information third hand instead of looking for it yourself. And that is going to bite you in the butt 10 times out of 10. Unless you have 100% trust in the person you are communicating with. Which, frankly, based on the people you've been around, sounds to me like you haven't had. Now, Beckett is not going out there looking for people to talk to. They are coming to him. He is not seeking them out. They are seeing what's going on, and he is asking them questions, and I can tell you enough about Beckett to know that if he does not have evidence for it, or if it does not sound like something real, he's going to be very critical of it. He's not just going to run with anything he hears like other idiots that don't like you will. Now, I will say this. I am sorry that personal details about you were put out there by Matt. I genuinely am. I don't agree with that personally. If you were like a child predator or something, I wouldn't care, but I don't think that is acceptable. I don't think that's okay. Now, here's where we have to come to a little bit of the brass tacks here. You say you want to be treated as an equal, right?
Where are you going with this?
We need to have a very serious talk right now. And I do mean a very serious talk. So, I'm asking you if you want to be treated like an equal, because it's made very clear in your different responses that you do not like it when people treat you like there's a mentorship going on without informing you. So I'm asking you directly if you want me to treat you like an equal, because that way I can be as straight and direct with you as possible.
Yeah, unless I, dictate otherwise based on how I'm feeling, but go ahead.
Okay. I will preface. You are not going to like what I'm going to say. I'm not saying any of this to hurt you. I am saying this because I care. And because I have watched the past 6 months of you spiraling destructively because you did not listen to counsel. Rachel, you do not have a grasp on how to treat people. You do not have a grasp on how, for lack of a better word, I want to be very clear, I'm not saying this to insult you. If I was, we would not be talking like this. It would be a different matter altogether. You do not seem to truly understand how the real working world works, and that is what's continuing to bite you. And the fact that you are continuing on this destructive path that you started when you refused to accept that you should not have forwarded any rape accusations about Saberspark, and you are continuing to double and triple down, is going to do nothing but continue to destroy you. So, my hard question for you is how much of this is you versus how much of this is from people pushing you in certain directions?
Like, rhetorically, or like
people guiding you to continue on this destructive path, as opposed to apologizing and moving on with your life. Because what's been happening is in the first response you sent me, the one you put out publicly, and then the one that was leaked from your Q&A, you are not at any point saying, I should not have done this in general. I am sorry for forwarding accusations without evidence. Instead, you are continuing to put the onus on literally everybody else. And I'm asking, is that from your desire, or is somebody guiding you to make those statements, and you are going with it because you think they're helping you?
No one's guiding me. If that's your question, or that, yeah.
All right, I'm going to be a little more blunt then. How much of this is Courtney involved in?
Not much. Like, she's not pushing me to do anything I don't want to do.
Are you aware of what Courtney's been doing lately in the online space?
Not really, but go ahead, you can tell me.
She literally went on public and said that she hopes that Mr. Enter gets raped and killed.
I think
she's lost it. Like, wholesale lost it. She has called anybody who does not believe the accusations against Saberspark part of a pro-rape boys club. She thinks that it is acceptable to call anybody anything and to accuse them of anything because you are not a legal official and therefore you must not need to control yourself. Which, oddly enough, she hasn't realized backfires directly to her when people call her a groomer or a predator with no evidence. And on top of that, KP, people know you use ChatGPT with your Q&A. Like, what's going on here?
What do you mean, what's going on?
Like, did you really consult ChatGPT to write your Q&A?
A little bit for some of the citing, but not the whole thing. Just...
Why are you continuing to push allegations you don't have any evidence for?
Because I believe her, I guess. You know, I don't know where I'm going to go from here, though, so I haven't decided.
There is nothing wrong with believing her internally and supporting her personally. The problem isn't that you believe and that you support. The problem is that you publicize, you attack, and that you've doubled and tripled down on it. KP, what you went through in 2016, when people were making all sorts of accusations about you, that really screwed with you, right? Really messed you up. It didn't feel good. It hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that, but instead of just asinine things about a workplace environment, somebody accuses you of sexually assaulting somebody with no evidence, and instead of apologizing for it, saying, you know what, I believed her, but I shouldn't have made this public, I should have supported her behind the scenes and see if justice could be gotten another way, they just continued to double and triple down on it. How would that make you feel?
I don't really want to get into a debate with that right now.
It's not
I
a
feel like
debate.
I said
It's not a debate, KP. I'm not sitting here hashing out values of difference to you. I'm saying this is a destructive path because the burden of proof is on the people who make the accusations. And what you've done this time is you have tied your person, your channel, your credibility, and any future prospects you have in any field, because it is now tied to you. This will follow you into your real life. It will. Unless you come up real quick with an actual sincere apology, it will follow you into your real life. This is not me wanting to bully you, browbeat you. I'm saying these things because I care and because I am concerned and I see what's happening. What I said to you Monday night in our conversation was not a snide jab at you, it was not an insult, you are unironically going to be actually lucky if he does not sue you. Because you have met every single known legal marker for him to be able to do that to you.
Have you been talking to him directly?
No, I have not said a word to or about SaberSpark because I'm standing by my principle. I think the guy's a weirdo. But I'm saying objectively, looking at all the data that's out there right now, he lost 26,000 subscribers. He has people calling him a rapist. He had people harassing his wife, or his future wife, rather, his fiance, for being in relationship with somebody being accused of rape. He has lost money from this. He has lost social standing. Every single thing that generally needs to be met. And whether you say it or not, there's plenty out there that can put to the idea that this is done out of malice, whether from you or from Emmy. It meets every basic criteria. You will actually be lucky if he doesn't sue you. Like, I think part of the problem is, and I'm not saying this because I think you're an idiot or anything, I'm saying this because I think what you've gone through, you ostrich, you turtle, when things get hard, and so you don't know what's going on around you. I genuinely don't think you realize the depth of the problem you've gotten yourself into here. It's monstrous. Because what you've done in your responses is instead of owning your screw-ups outside of the tone for the DA games, you've just doubled and tripled down saying it's the audience's fault for not understanding, or it's a perception issue, or it's the perfect victim myth, which nobody is even running with. Nobody's saying they shouldn't believe Emmy because Emmy's not a perfect victim. They're saying the data she has provided versus what SaberSpark has provided, it is in favor of SaberSpark's telling of events simply because he has data based on how she has acted to him, how she has responded to him, her communications and relationship up to him. He has that data. You guys don't. You don't have anything. So,
I mean, I don't...
If you wanted to believe it, that's fine. It's making the accusations and continuing to. That's going to kill it. That's going to kill any goodwill you have. That's going to kill any... KP, I'm just going to... You want to get into the animation industry, right?
I get where you're going.
They know, KP. There are people in the industry who know who you are now, and it's not because of animation. It's not because of any of that. It's because of these accusations you refuse to walk back. That's a problem. There's one reason why I said to not even put out a response to begin with. It's also why I told you, don't forward this. Make police reports. Even if it's a decade old, make the police reports. Emmy's channel is bigger than yours. She could have just done it herself if she was so adamant about it. Instead, she runs you around circles. She lies to your face. Because I will tell you this right now. Her excuse of, I didn't want to talk to Lio because of his profile picture, when she had no problem talking to me before with the same profile picture. Something's wrong here, Rachel. Something is horrifically wrong here. You can't think about this right now in terms of PR. PR doesn't matter. Not in this. Not right now. What matters is the fact that you're free falling off a cliff and you ain't got a parachute. You've got to cobble one together, and you can't do it by continuing to double down on the idea that you're right. And on top of that, with the way this happens, and here's why you have to be so serious about the data you have at hand when you make these accusations, is if he is what you think he is. Now there's an entire debacle out there that will make people immediately disregard it if it's something that actually happens again. If he did do it initially, this will make people immediately discard it. That's damage. And you can't keep down this path, Rachel. Not only are you not going to win, you're going to actively continue to destroy yourself. And I don't want that for you.
I mean, since I don't know what's happened, but I haven't decided how or what to do, I guess, if that is any
consolation.
I guess I just haven't. Yeah, I haven't been thinking about that. I've just kind of been thinking about the stuff, just the riddle stuff and that kind of thing. So.
Okay. Now, Riddle. What he was doing was he was upset and he was venting to somebody under the assumption that it would have been kept private. I understand the desire to vent to a trusted individual. The problem there is that Maddie leaked it, because I don't know if it's Matt or Maddie, there's something wrong in their skull meat, very obviously. It's why they make accusations as well without any evidence. But I'm not going to go into detail and ask you, because I'm not like these other guys. It's none of my business. But I will just say this. If even a third of what Riddle is saying is accurate, KP, you've got a lot of growing up you've got to do real fast. Like, real fast. And I'm not saying that because I hate you, because I don't hate you. I'm saying that because I care. And right now, I think I'm kind of the only friend you've got that's just going to be blunt and tell you the truth here. I'm not here to play sides. I'm not here to push a narrative for myself. This is me trying to communicate to you how badly you are in a situation of, because you haven't been able to peek up and take a look. It's bad. It's really, really bad, Rachel.
I mean, well, that's why we're talking, right?
Yeah, but it shouldn't take a conversation with me for you to know how bad it is. You've got to be able to look for yourself. And yeah, Beckett's been mean about some things. I'm not going to sit here and deny that, especially in the video he did to your newest public response. Oh, absolutely he was mean in that. But here's the truth of the matter. The reason why I had you talk to Beckett wasn't because it was some sort of stupid little setup. I don't do that to people. It's because I know...
No, I didn't think it was a setup.
I know, but I'm just... If in case that was a concern, I'm letting you know. It's because out of everybody else who you could have talked to, Beckett was going to give you the most grace he could. Like, literally. As weird as that may be to sound. He's going to give you the most grace, because he's going to look at the data and come to conclusions based on that. Not on personal bias, not on whether he likes people. The man wound up talking to voice actors of people in the animation industry. That's how far this has gone. And not because he went to search them out, it's because they found him. They came to him. And you took what grace he could give you and said, no, I'm just going to triple down. Because it's as much of a pain in the butt as it could be for him to imply or state that he thinks that you're not all that bright or whatever, it's a lot better than claiming you're malicious. Because that's what it's coming out as now, that you're malicious, and that's why you're doubling and tripling down. Especially considering the fact that your initial audio was also leaked. And to be clear, not by me. That's been leaked as well. And people can hear it now. And KP, you frame everything like it's misogyny. It's not. Not in this case. Yeah, women are treated garbage in the industry. Women are treated garbage socially. I'm well aware of that. But the reason why people didn't come and back you up about the rape accusation isn't because they hate women. It's because there was no evidence. Like, at all. It's why I told you not to do it. And the reason why I didn't give you...
No, I didn't understand.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say, I guess on hindsight, I didn't I didn't comprehend that, like, her refusing to do the police report was a red flag. I just thought that, it was going to get out anyway, and not get out. It was going to be released through Fandom anyway, or whatever the fuck. So, I was just, I just wanted to support her, I guess. But no, I get your point. I get your point of view.
Yeah, and that, look, I don't think you should have to look into every person you work with, because sometimes that's just not functional, but there was something off from Fandom to begin with, especially based on the age of the account versus how many tweets they've had. Like, that account's over a decade old. And when you look into it, finds out they are a right freak. They like... they like little kid characters. They're a sexual deviant of different degrees. The general idea is the entire reason why this person specifically is going after Black Griffin is not because they genuinely believe he's a predator, but because they had a sexual attraction to the Sweetie Belle character that his wife voiced. Because that was his main focus. He really liked that character in all the worst ways a human being can. As an adult, to be clear. I understand saying, well, it was going to get out anyways, but the truth of the matter is that wouldn't have been on you. And I told you why she needed to make it. I told you in that group chat why she needed to make that report. Because every excuse she was giving made no sense. Well, if I do it, he might find out who I am. If he assaulted her, he'd know anyways. Well, he might dox me. He knows her information. I mean, that's why.
No, I didn't understand. I didn't understand that those were dodges. If so, I don't like I. If that makes sense, like I wasn't like I wish. I'm not blaming you, obviously, but I guess I wish like the red flags were explained more explicitly, because I just didn't catch them. So like I didn't understand that what you were saying was proof of hesitancy. I thought she was just hesitant because she was afraid she was gonna get doxxed and harassed, which she ended up getting harassed anyway.
Yeah, and the thing is, if she was going to make the accusation public, it was going to happen regardless of if she filed a police report or not. That's why she just needed to file the report. Because here's the thing, if she had filed the report, let's go ahead and walk back in time. If she were the one to file, if she at least bare minimum filed a report and proved that she did that, that would at least communicate to people. No, she actually believes this happened. She is thoroughly convinced, because why would a woman go to the police otherwise? Now, there have been plenty of cases, even though Courtney says otherwise, where women have made false rape accusations to ruin a man's life. That just has happened. It's literally happened to a little black kid decades ago who wound up getting killed over it. So yes, unfortunately it does happen. It's awful, one of the worst things in the world to lie about, but it does happen. But at least with a police report, there could have been at least that modicum, that crumb of hesitancy of people saying, well, if nothing else, Emmy believes that's what happened. Because why in the world would she go do that otherwise? But she didn't even do that. And it had nothing to do with fear of being harassed, and everything to do with the fact that she wanted to be able, from what I can tell, take that shot off of somebody else's platform and then duck and hide. And she tried to. And the entire reason she failed was because she left breadcrumbs. You say you're worried about people, you're tired of people manipulating you, but they've been doing it this entire time. Again, if you want to believe Emmy, that's absolutely fine. I know people who have had awful things happen to them that they told me about that they don't want to make public. And I'm not going to make public because I don't have the evidence for it either. I still support them. I still care about them. I communicate to them how much I do believe them and that it's going to be okay and I'm there. I don't put it on my channel. I don't tie my name to it. Not because I don't care, not because I don't love these people and I don't feel for them, but because there's nothing I can do with it. You can't make an accusation from nothing and expect something to grow from it. I'm sorry, but you can't. And you have really... the reason I never responded in extreme detail to the audio you sent me, KP, is because if I have to every single time tell you what the problem is, you're not growing and learning on your own. You've got to learn to figure these things out by yourself to become the confident individual you want to be. And listening to that entire diatribe, all it communicated to me is that you didn't learn anything. And I can't put a stamp of approval on that, not as a friend and not as somebody who cares about you. But at the same time, if I had put any pushback on it, then where are we anyways? Because another reason I didn't is because I told you not to even put out a response, and then you come into my DMs and tell me that you're going to do one. So you didn't listen to me again. And the last time you did was, again, when you made the accusations. So you're coming back to a guy Go ahead.
I interpreted your, like, if you have to one as just kind of like, if it will make you feel better kind of thing. So I guess I interpreted that more neutral than what you meant, if that makes sense.
Yes, but again, I stated plainly, because I'm not a person who often is able to do subtlety. I'm about as subtle as a shotgun. I've told you pretty plainly, don't do a response to this. If you were to do anything, it has to be some form of apology. And it's not just that, right? It's not just that. Now, I want to preface this one, because we're going to move topics just slightly. If you want to hate aficionado Chris until the day he dies, you are 100% valid in doing so. I will give you no trash talk for it. I will not degrade you for it. You are well within your rights, and that is fine if that is the decision you make. But trying to build a literal what-if legal case in your response against a man who, number one, admitted that he lied. Number two, I'm going to be real blunt here. Listening to that audio, KP, I don't think I've met many people as apologetic as him in that. So when Beckett asked you, what does accountability look like to you? That's something you should have had the answer to. Is accountability for what Chris did, which again, even he doesn't stand by. Even he says is stupid and vile, that he had no business doing it. And frankly, he probably got bullied for saying it. Because as a guy, the boys club that I'm apparently in, if anybody makes that type of comment around me, or anybody I know, like any guy I know, they're going to get bullied for it. They're going to be made fun of. Like, what are you, some sort of weirdo creep? You sick loser? They're going to get bullied and made fun of for it. Nobody's going to think they're cool over it. Even some of the most egregious men I know, who make the grossest of jokes, like, say, Vlad, he'd call him a loser, too, and tell him to kill himself, frankly. Like, if a genuine apology and trying to get help isn't what you wanted, what is it you wanted?
Well, that was something I was going to talk about. I took down the safety report with the link. Riddle owns the file, so I couldn't take down the file. Mm-hmm. And I would have clarified, probably just like, I was concerned how his telling of the story framed me to other people that were in the room when he was telling it. So I think, in hindsight, maybe a public apology that didn't go into didn't have to like go into the actual act, but just the fact that like this happened and like sorry, like whatever, like something like that. But what basically the story grew into, not just Chris, but all of the DA game stuff, and there's like, I don't know if you saw the whole video, but victims that were groomed in that space, that I'm not like saying this to be like, what was me, I'm just kind of informing you about information, but were groomed in that space and wouldn't remove like confirmed convicts and things like that. So I understand your point about Chris, but it wasn't just the call, it was the like, or it wasn't just the memes he posted, it was just kind of the continual behavior, mostly from Will in that space, that isn't really being analyzed too deeply. Does that make sense?
To a point, but if I recall from one of your responses, the gross memes that were posted, was that or was that not to test a security bot?
That apparently was a lie, because no one could find someone else covered it, but the videos got taken down. But anyway, Parlo or something. But he talked about he couldn't find a bot that could accurately test those, on top of them, instead of admitting that they did something wrong and retracted them, they just kind of kept it hush-hush. And that seems to be an issue from what the victims say, that anytime there's a big upset, or like, not even like anything that's particularly like Will's fault, but like bad situations, like, you know, there's a pedophile on the server or whatever, you know, they don't really seem to care to do anything. Again, not just sharing information. So that was the Chris stuff boiled up to, like, you know, like Jamie, who doesn't like me anymore, but Jamie has a whole Twitter thread about their abuse in that space, and like the creeps, and they have screenshots and the whole thing. So I you know, and that's the part that I wish was clearer, is because I wanted to help and I was stupid. I just tried to put too much in the video, among other things. But yeah, so I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, those were just my frustrations in that area. You know, and regardless if it's Will or it's not Will, you know, Chris still is part of that brand. And when people are when these kids are getting preyed on in these servers and no one seems to do anything or care, then that, I feel like, is an issue. And so it wasn't particularly just that Saber wasn't willing to do anything because of the Chris story. It was also the bigger ecosystem of that, and how again, I'm not making excuses or anything, I'm just trying to explain. That was kind of frustrating, I guess, because it just seems like, you know, out of sight, out of mind.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Here's my question. Who all within the mod staff did you talk to about any of this?
What do you mean?
About what happened in the server, about why they didn't remove people, about all this stuff, because apparently you still had a way to contact Chris. Did you ask him about any of it?
No, I haven't talked to Chris, but no, they're I don't know if they're still up, but the original video that we did where we interviewed people has tons of screenshots in it about that kind of stuff. So which I can cut and give to you if you'd like.
I don't need it on hand, but part of the problem.
Are you saying I should ask Chris about this?
I'm saying if he's in moderation there, if the problem is that people are doing or saying gross things, confronting them is always the best step forward first, because that can immediately cut things off at the head. Whenever I've had to deal with a server that's alive and going, that allows that stuff around, the first people I immediately go after are administration. Why are you doing this? What's with this nonsense? What's going on? And at that point, they have one or two choices. Either one, they can backtrack, apologize, and correct the issue, or they can double down and I get to burn them alive. The problem is with this, you didn't contact the administration at all, if nothing else, to at least get bare minimum their side of things. And that's definitely a problem on that.
Well, I did a couple of things. So, Jamie has screenshots of when they tried to contact Will as far as the grooming stuff. Will sympathized, but ultimately didn't even do anything or address things, from my understanding, as well as my frustrations with, I wasn't really going after Chris's job. I just wanted kind of it to be looked into. Go ahead.
Rachel, if you weren't going after his job, what were you expecting? Because it seems to me, and to anybody who listened, that what you wanted was for DA and Saber to just fire him for what he said about you. Is that what you wanted?
I wanted some sense of accountability.
You do realize he apparently did make a public apology some time ago, right?
That's after DA did one because I was getting frustrated with the fact that they wouldn't address it directly. So that's not because they were doing it in good faith. It's because like I was talking about, and they were kind of in a PR.
Okay.
Um,
So
corner.
let's back
But
this
yeah.
up then. Let's back this up for just a minute. Do you accept in the call you had with him that he apologized to you?
Yes, but I think that there needed to be, like, I wanted to be reassured that, like, DA Games, well, I can show you the emails if you want. I don't know if you remember, but we're taking it seriously. They were going,
But
they were taking it seriously. Go ahead.
what is your idea of taking it seriously? If the statement was, I told gross, weird jokes about something I didn't even do, and it made a former coworker who was female uncomfortable, and it's something I stopped doing and I've apologized for and I've gotten help for, like, what else is there that needs to be said about that?
Well, for one thing, I was frustrated that, like, so, like, I don't know if, I don't remember what's on the script, but, like, so if the recipient is, of the story is Will and some other friends, like, why did I hear this story from Chitter Chatter and not Will saying, hey, this guy's making gross sexual stories? Like, and it's not just like buds being buds. If they're working together and that's the working environment, then I feel like there's a bigger issue there. Like, you know what I mean?
If it's something that he has communicated with, right? I did this thing, and then I apologized for this thing. I talked to the person I had wronged. Why would that person reach out to you?
No, I'm saying when Chris told the stories originally to Will, wasn't there any accountability within the space to be like, oh shit, my editor is telling these gross stories about women. Like, that's unacceptable. You know, like, it's not like it's like a whole ecosystem. It's not just buds being buds. Like, he was doing that as a way to show off in a work setting.
Yeah,
so I guess that's my general
You're expecting true professional workplace etiquette and rules from people who do not run one.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, that's which is part of the problem, I guess. But that like I said, I'm running out of energy. But
well, let me. I'll put it to you this way then. By your standards, now anytime you have a job, by your standards, you have to talk to them about what you did online, accusing somebody of rape. Do you realize that?
I guess not really.
Because I'll just be honest here. Yeah, what Chris did was gross, and frankly, probably needed to get kicked for it in the teeth a few times, even before he apologized to you, or rather, before he apologized to you. But, like, I personally think that accusing somebody of sexual assault, of rape, to hundreds of thousands of people, that's a little worse in the grand scheme of things. And look, I get it, all right? I'm going to be just real vulnerable with you for just a moment, all right? The man who assaulted me like that died before you were born and faced no accountability in this life for it. So trust me, I get it, that it hurts. That nobody has that anger in your stead. That nobody picked that up for you and said, this is wrong, and I'm going to address it. I get that hurts. I do. But you can't keep pursuing it. It's going to destroy you if it hasn't already. Like,
no, I'm just thinking.
I know you are, but, like, how do I put this? You are Jewish, yes? Obviously. How connected are you to your faith?
Oh yeah, I'm not religious, so if you're gonna spout some Jewish stuff at me, I'm gonna nice try.
Well, it's not even so much about the religious aspect of it. It's like one of your kings notices that sometimes the wicked appear successful, but that it doesn't matter in the long run. it's just, and on top of that, if you're not religious, you probably shouldn't have made memes about Moses. Just saying.
Well, I mean, that's not an ethical. That's basically how Jewish culture works is that regardless, you're still Jewish, but you're either practicing or not. So that was the basis for that. So like, you know, I'm there's what is it? I'm too tired to explain it, but there's it's a religion and then like a culture too. So that's kind of where my vantage point essentially. But no, yeah, I guess, I mean, I gotta like think about everything, obviously. I'm just kind of overwhelmed with information, but thank you for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Look, I am not, and I have to address one more thing. A couple things, actually. Going on about sex crimes concerning Chris in your Q&A should never have been touched. Because if it was a sex crime, you should have gone to the police immediately. And secondly, saying I've cut public ties with Courtney is literally saying nothing. What it's trying to... I'm just going to say, you tried to deceive your audience. That you're just cutting public ties with her. What that says is, well, I'm not going to be seen in public with her, but everybody knows you're still talking to her behind the scenes, so what good does that do? What's the point there? You can't do that to people. You can't have two faces. It doesn't work. If you remain friends with Courtney, I'm not going to sit here and fuss at you about it. It's ultimately your choice. There's stuff coming out about Courtney that I will just tell you right now, I highly recommend you not do so. But it's your choice. But I will say this. This entire time, I have been your friend. I have not thrown you under a bus. I have not given people license to go public with anything you've given me. I've not done any of that. What happens from this point on, and I hate to put it this way, but I have to, whether we remain friends is going to be completely dependent on how you operate from this moment on. Because if you continue double down, I can't. Because the entire reason I kicked FNGR to the curb was because he made false claims about somebody, Rachel.
No, I don't know that history. I guess it's like
you do though.
I still have to wrap my head.
You do, because that's the entire reason you came.
I know FNGR got.
Yeah,
I know he got yelled at, but I didn't. I don't remember. Anyway,
you were in the stream where we talked about it, Rachel. You were in the stream where we talked about it.
Yeah, but I was like half paying attention. What was it, like a pillow or something?
Yes, he accused somebody of having sexualized images of their child when it was just his child passed out on a weird body pillow, and he took a picture of it because he thought, ha, that's funny, and my kid's a little weeb. And he tried to claim that he was sexualizing his kid. Either way, it's an incorrect, false claim, and I cut Anthony for it. I've cut Coyote for it too.
No, I mean, I guess I just I need to wrap my head around, like, the idea of supporting someone but platforming them is two different things. I think that's where my disconnect is.
KP,
and like, I know you're probably right, but like, I just need to process that a little bit more.
Okay, I'll put it to you this way.
Go ahead.
Riddle taking you in was, how do I put this? Supporting you. But he didn't. He didn't go out and make it public on all of his platforms. He didn't sit there and yell to the heavens that he's living with you. That's the difference. Privacy versus public. There are people in my circles that have had awful things happen to them, and I'm there for them. And I tell them I am sorry that happened, and I do believe you. But you're not going to see me put it on my channel. That's how you support somebody without going out and making a show of it. Especially something that damaging. I'm just going to say, you have to treat rape accusations like a loaded gun. Do not aim it at anybody unless you're willing to destroy them. And you have to be dead certain about it. Because otherwise, sucker's going to Looney Tune on you and shoot you instead. And that's what's happened to you.
No, I don't plan on doing anything like this.
I hope not, but
yeah.
More importantly, I hope you just realize that you need to just be honest and apologize for this crap. You're going to have to swallow your pride on it. You're going to have to. Because if you don't, it's going to get worse for you. Because I'm telling you right now, due to how you responded, and this is because I've been in these spaces, I know how they work. If you think the riddle DMs are where that ends, it is not. They're going to dig into everything they can find about you. They are going to mock you and deride you for anything they can get their hands on. It will not stop with the riddle DMs being leaked. And that is just the truth of the matter here. That is a warning I can give you. So you need to decide real quick, on your own, what choices you are going to make and what you are going to do. And you're going to have to... You have to reassess at this point your entire life, Rachel. If even a third of what I'm hearing is accurate. You got to reassess everything. And hope that if you apologize and you walk everything back, with the exception, you want to keep saying that you think DA Games is screwed up, fine. Whatever, right? Just don't be belligerent about it and make it a joke. But you have to walk back the Saber Spark stuff if you're going to survive. Period. If your platform at all survives, you might just have to, at this point, realize I just need to get a traditional job and move on with my life in that direction. And hope that an employer doesn't look at your online activity. And I hate that I have to tell you that. But if I'm not honest with you, I'm not your friend.
Right. No, I get it. I think that's enough for now. Not that you were yelling at me, but I just need to process a little bit.
I get that, and I'll let you go. But one final thing: you've got to stop relying on the weed to get you through stressful things. Because I have a feeling you were high Monday night, weren't you?
I don't think so.
Well, that entire sentence you typed to me did not sound at all like the type of statement somebody who wasn't was, but I'll take your word for it. Either way, I'll go ahead and let you go. Process it, and I genuinely hope you make the right decision on this, for your sake, if for nothing else.
Yeah, I appreciate the advice.
Okay, I'll let you go. Good night.
Okay, bye.
I was hoping that this direct but kind call would highlight the issues and that she'd make the right decision. There's absolutely nothing wrong about believing someone on a matter like this and supporting them privately. Not at all. However, it became clear that the council was once again being ignored when we get back into the DMs the very next day. Good morning. Something I forgot to ask you last night. Are you privacy striking people's videos?
I did. I'm stopped, though.
Yeah, that wasn't a good move. I'd recommend apologizing for that. Also, I'm going to ask again, and please be aware that I'm not angry, but how much was Courtney involved with your responses? Because someone else has already revealed that she was deeply involved with them to another person. If you lied about that last night, whether it be out of fear or to protect her, I'm going to ask right now that you be honest with me on the level of her involvement.
What do you mean? Like, comment-wise?
Comment, helping with the scripting, guiding you, all of it.
She's been helping me on a friend level. She hasn't been manipulating me or anything. Like, support.
KP, with all due respect, you genuinely have a hard time telling when you're being manipulated. Has she been helping you with what to say in your responses?
She's been giving me feedback on my speaking because of how nervous I am. Look, I have something I had written up after thinking last night. Let me send that.
Okay.
Hey, I've been thinking a lot about our conversation last night. There were some things I didn't bring up. Partly because I didn't have the energy, and partly because the focus was more on you and how you were feeling. Just so you know where I'm at, I haven't decided to do anything one way or another. I just need to chill and take some space for now. But I also think you've become a little normalized to some of the behavior happening around all of this, and that it's making it hard for you to see how damaging it actually is. For example, with the riddle leaks. Yes, he was venting, but he was also giving my medical information to someone he knew was untrustworthy and had been doing for a long time. Okay, that sentence does make sense. And had been doing so for a long time. This wasn't a one-off mistake or a moment of frustration. It was deliberate, and if this happened in December, I wasn't even living with him anymore. So yeah, there was definitely some malicious intent there. You're giving him a huge benefit of the doubt without looking at what he did objectively, and that really concerns me. As for the Beckett situation, I know you might not believe this, but I trust her. She and I talk almost every day, and she has absolutely no reason to lie to me. She got off her call with Beckett and immediately told me what had happened. Based on that, I think there's a lot more going on here than you're giving credit for. Beckett's been breaking social boundaries and engaging in behavior that borders on sexual harassment. I think he's been far more manipulative than you're realizing. I assume that's what you mean by a friend of a friend? Regarding the privacy strikes, this isn't about censoring criticism, but protecting my personal information and privacy at this point. Privacy is also in question when people are discussing private relationships with friends. I've reached my limit. Also, just so you are aware, I've been really overwhelmed, according to her, so she's laying low right now. But maybe down the line I can help set up a conversation between you two, because I think hearing her directly would give you a better picture of what's been happening. So yeah, I still need space. I'm not angry, but I'm hurt. This isn't just about optics or videos. It's about trust, boundaries, and the fact that decisions were made about me instead of with me. I value our friendship and I don't want to lose it, but right now, I need some distance until things feel safe again. I'll keep your opinions about what to do in mind, and I think I'll spend more time listening to what the frustrations are before I make any decisions. I appreciate you bringing this stuff to me, but based on what I brought up here, I do think your perception is a little skewed. Going forward, I prefer to stick to text instead of calls. I process things better that way, and can articulate myself more clearly in writing. Given your grammar, honey, I don't think you do. Oh, and I know you are concerned about my health in this, but yesterday was actually a pretty decent day, and I've naturally not been using as much weed in the last 1 to 2 weeks or so. This whole time, I've been working on something unrelated to YouTube that I'm just about to finish, so I'm trying to find some productivity in all this and deal with it in a healthy way. I'm going to throw myself in that for a bit while I process things a bit more and talk to my therapist about all of this.
Alright, so a couple things. Riddle's DMs were not dated from December. It was like June or July. So it wasn't during that time period. So I don't know where you're getting December from, to be clear, because I have seen those DMs. Privacy strikes do not protect your privacy at all. It doesn't even make anything come off the video. And on top of that, once it's out, you can't put the cat back in the bag. Now I'm going to get real blunt here for you. And I know you prefer text. Right now I'm sending a voice message because I can't send text. Is the one who told Beckett that Courtney has their hand in everything here and that they are the main force pushing you and that their involvement in this is heavy. So if you trust, you can, but I'm telling you right now, you may want to reconsider that. As far as your other concerns, I hate to tell you this, but I'm being a little bit more objective than you are. You're putting all the onus on your feelings, which I can understand to a point, instead of the impact of your actions. If you need to take a break before you need to figure out what to do, that's fine. That makes sense. Just be aware that you can't censor these things on how you feel. You have to censor them on what is and what you've done to other people, essentially. Now, as far as Beckett's behavior, I don't know what you're referring to on the sexual harassment direction. If you do feel like he is sexually harassing you, I would encourage you to file a police report. Because if it's sexual harassment, it's against the law. So feel free to do that. It was genuinely an accident. It's also why he removed it. So let me know what you decide once you take your break, once you figure out what you're going to do, and we'll go from there.
Hey Lio, I listened to what you said and I appreciate that you're trying to keep perspective, but I need to clarify a few things. I understand that objectivity matters, but framing what I've been through as feelings instead of a larger pattern of what's happened misses some important context. I've owned my role in how things unfolded. but that doesn't mean other people's actions haven't crossed serious lines. You seem to be minimizing that, whether you mean to or not. When someone leaks private conversations, discusses my medical information, or publicly harasses me, that's not just gossip or impact. It's a violation of privacy and boundaries. I need you to recognize that this isn't just about emotion or perception. There are real consequences. I also need to be honest that your decision to involve Beckett without clearer communication left me feeling unprotected. I wish that had been discussed more transparently. I understand your point about the legal side, but I also need to clarify something important. From my understanding, in streams, Beckett repeatedly speculates about my sex life and calls me things like whore or spinster publicly. That is sexual harassment. Whether or not this is a prosecutable crime doesn't change the fact that it's a violation of dignity and safety. Framing it as something I can just file a police report over minimizes what's actually happening here. This isn't a misunderstanding, it's targeted harassment. I'm not asking you to take sides, but I do want space to process this in my own time, and to have my boundaries respected in that process. I'll keep your feedback in mind, but please understand that objectivity can't come at the expense of empathy or safety. Made a statement basically saying I needed more time with things on my community tab, just so you are aware. But I think this is a good stopping place for now. I just spoke to just now, and she denied stating anything about Courtney's involvement. Though she did say Beckett asked about it, she gave a no comment and reminded me that she indeed was asked about that the other night. She implied to even people thinking about that is stretching things a bit. Though I will state I trust her 1000% and believe everything she says, so take that as you may. She is also not a public figure, so she has absolutely nothing to gain by lying. She's afraid of being again. That's the last I'll say today.
She sent me a final message while I was at work and unfriended me. I'm only going to have the tail end of that read out, as it's the most important part.
P.S. I would warn your little friends that I have sent, as in already pending, DMCA takedowns for anything, both videos and streams, using private or leaked information. Commentary is within their right, but anything more is a violation of my privacy, boundaries, and threatens my safety. I think we both know that going to the police when someone is sexually harassing you on the internet is a moot point. You have my consent to warn others. PSS, I have not outed Barbie/Maggie as the leaker of the earlier V2 script out of pure kindness, but I am getting increasingly aggravated by who Beckett has been sending to prod for info, seemingly without your full knowledge. I might disclose this in the future while keeping her information private based on escalating concerns, privacy, and clarity. Now that I have documentation she was lying about her associations with Beckett this whole time, you have my permission to warn the potential affected parties.
So now she's going around copyright striking people critical of her. Something she, honestly, doesn't have the legal right to do. I've said this on Twitter, but if she was just striking raw re-uploads of her original video, I'd defend that. It's within her legal right, and I've done that to people who have done it with my content as well. The problem is she's not doing that. This is malicious, and other things that have been shared with me behind the scenes also calls into question whether or not any of this was about children's safety as well. Like accusing aficionado Chris of a sex crime by rewriting history after she previously and repeatedly acknowledged that the story he made was made up and a joke. At most, it could be considered sexual harassment there. Putting the focus on Chris again proves to everyone that this is never about children being hurt. You can't do that. This is an absolute dumpster fire, but one she lit herself. At this point, there's no way her channel can recover from this, but it's the path she chose. That brings me to this Twitter screen cap that she posted to hype up her video. Firstly, if you see the biblical story of the Exodus as exposing something, then you're probably too social media brained. It wasn't exposing, it was judgment against the tyranny of Pharaoh and against the Egyptian gods. A judgment carried out by the Hebrew god Yahweh. The interesting thing here is that in this, KP is dressed up as Moses. The weird thing is, the entire scenario does have some biblical parallels. It's just that KP isn't Moses. She's Pharaoh. She was visited multiple times by people telling her to do the right thing, and every time she didn't, disaster struck. At this point, we're at the final plague. We're the closest thing to a firstborn son to her currently. Her YouTube channel and desired career in animation has now died. She can't blame Moses, nor the god he serves. Not honestly. She can only blame herself. I don't know what's going to happen from this point on. I tried to be KP's friend, and I tried to stop her, but it's clear she's just going to continue on this destructive path. Whether from pride or sunk cost fallacy, who knows? But I refuse to stay quiet about this any further and just hope she wakes up. So hopefully this is the wake-up call she needs. It's possible KP may strike this video as well due to the screen caps, regardless of the fact that she doesn't have a copyright on them. If she does, I'll be real, it's not going to end well for her. I'm already pissed off enough, KP. You need to release every single false strike you put out, today. I'm tired. I'm tired of dealing with adults in general that act like idiots, but it's even worse when it's a friend. And worser still that it's something this destructive. But she made her bed, and she's gotta lay in it. Gonna sign off for now. Take care.